Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of the Sakura Market Bag tutorial. In this part we're going to be looking at rows 5 to 9. You'll need to continue on with the yarn you've been using as well as a crochet hook, and I recommend using a stitch marker so you can mark the beginning of each row. I also recommend printing out the pattern, which I have placed in the description below this video, and following along with that. You can use the pattern to check how many stitches or double crochets or shells you should have at the end of each row to make sure you are following along accurately. As you can see, it's starting to take shape now and looking just beautiful. Let's begin with round 5. Let's begin round 5. We start with chaining 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we skip 3 stitches. It's important to note that this stitch that I just worked into, this one here, does not count, so we skip the next 3. 1, 2, 3, and we do a single crochet into the next stitch, which is the top of the fan. Our repeating pattern around here basically is chaining 4, double crochet into the bottom of each fan, chain 4, single crochet into the top. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, double crochet into the next one, which should be the bottom of your fans. Chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the top of the next one. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet into the next one, which is the bottom of your fans, the valley. Chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into the top of the next one. I'm going to recommend pausing the video here, continuing with this pattern all the way around until you get to the last peak. I will meet you there. Coming up to the end of round 5, I've just done 4 chains, going to single crochet into here, which is the last peak, and this is my final chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do not do a double crochet back in to the first single crochet. You'll remember at the start of this round we chained 7. That counts as our double crochet and our first 4 chain around. So what I need to do from here is slip stitch into the 3rd chain, counting from the bottom. 1, 2, 3. So I slip stitch into that stitch, and that is the end of round 5. You'll notice your pattern is starting to curl upwards. That's perfectly fine. As we continue on with our project, it will flatten out more, but remember it is the base of our market bag, so if it curls up, that's not much of an issue. Round 6 begins with chain 1 and a single crochet into that same stitch, which is the chain that we slip stitched into at the end of our last round. Given that this is our first stitch of the round, I recommend using a stitch marker to highlight that stitch so that at the end of the round you know exactly where to join. For this round, it's basically single crochet all the way around. we do 4 single crochet into each chain space, single crochet into the single crochet from the previous round, and single crochets into the double crochets from the previous round. Looks like this, starting with 4 single crochet, 3, 4, single crochet into our single crochet from the previous round. I'm going to lift that up, hopefully make it easier for you to see exactly where we're going in. We're going in into this section here. That is inside that single crochet. 4 single crochets now into the chain space, 2, 3, 4, and a single crochet into the double crochet from the previous round. 4 more single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a single crochet into the double crochet from the previous round. This pattern repeats, single crocheting all the way around. I recommend pausing the video here, and I will meet you when you get around towards the end of this round. Okay, I'm approaching the end of round 6. I'm going to do 4 single crochets in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet into the last double crochet from the previous round. 4 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I need to do a slip stitch into our first single crochet, which we've marked with a stitch marker. Slip stitch straight into there, and that is the end of round 6. Round 7 begins with 2 chains, 1, 2. Then we're going to be doing 2 double crochets back into that exact same stitch. 1, and given that's our first double crochet for the round, I recommend using a stitch marker to mark the top of that stitch so that at the end of the round you know exactly where to join. Here's my second double crochet into that same stitch. Now 4 double crochets into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next stitch we do 2 double crochets in, and these stitches, every 5th stitch in this round we'll be doing 2 double crochets. These stitches should align with our single crochets or our double crochets from 2 rounds below. So 2 double crochets in here, 1, 2, double crochet into the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1, 2, double crochet into the next 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 double crochets into the next stitch. 1, 2. I recommend pausing the video here, continuing all the way around with your 4 double crochets and then 2 double crochet into the 5th stitch. I will meet you back around this side. Okay, we're approaching the end of round 7. I've just done 2 double crochet into this stitch, so I'm going to continue on with double crochet into the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 double crochet into the top of my anchor point from the previous round. 1, 2. Now I need to do 4 more double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Takes me back to the start where I need to do a slip stitch into our first double crochet, which I marked with a stitch marker. That is the end of round 7. Round 8 begins with a chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I skip 1 stitch, so this is a stitch that has my slip stitch in it and chain, so I'm skipping the next one and I'm going to work into the next one. I'm going to do a double crochet into that, chain 2, 1, 2, skip a stitch again, double crochet into the next one, chain 2, 1, 2, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next one, chain 2, 1, 2, and skip 1 stitch, double crochet into the next one. This is the repeating pattern all the way around. One thing to note, the double crochets don't always line up with the double crochets in the rounds previous, so don't look for them lining up. I'm going to recommend you pause the video here, continue with this pattern all the way around, and I'll meet you back here towards the end of this round. Okay, I'm approaching the end of round 8. Continuing on with the pattern, I chain 2, skip 1 stitch, double crochet into the next one, chain 2, 1, 2, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next one, chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm back at the start. I do not do another double crochet because we began the row with 5 chains, 3 of them being the double crochet to begin the round, 2 of them starting our repeating pattern. So what I need to do is count up 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and I will slip stitch into this chain here. And that completes round 8. Round 9 begins with a chain 1 and then a single crochet back into that exact same stitch. Because this is the first stitch of the round, I recommend using a stitch marker so that when we finish the round you'll know exactly where to join. Round 9 has fans in it just like in round 4. However, in round 4 our fans were made up of 7 double crochet. In this round they'll only be made up of 5 double crochet. So to do that, we're going to be skipping the chain space, and we're going to be working into the top of the next double crochet to find, from the previous round, to find the top. Look at the column and it'll be the stitch directly above it or slightly to the right. So we're going to be doing 5 double crochets into here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We now need to anchor our fan, so we skip this chain space and we're going to do a single crochet into the top of our next double crochet from the previous round. Finding the top of our next double crochet, we're going to be doing 5 double crochets into here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We anchor that by skipping the chain space and doing a single crochet into the top of our next double crochet from the previous round. I shall do this one more time for you. Skip the chain space, working into the top of our double crochet from the previous round. 5 double crochets in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip that chain space and do single crochet into the top of the next double crochet from the previous round. And that is what our fans look like. I'm going to recommend you pause the video here, continue doing your fans all the way around till you get closer to the end of this round, and I will meet you over here to finish round 9. Coming up to the end of round 9, and I'm about to do my last fan. So I'm going to work 5 double crochet into that last double crochet from our previous round. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I finish off this round by doing a slip stitch into our first single crochet from the round, which is marked by the stitch marker. That is the end of round 9. Thank you for joining me for part 2 of the Sakura Market Bag. Look forward to seeing you in part 3.